Welcome to Stamp Designs with Denise. I'm Denise Johnson, an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, coming to you live from Bedford, New Hampshire. It's Monday afternoon. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. It is getting a little bit chillier here in the New England area at night especially. We had a potential first frost last night. I brought some flowers in, but I don't know if the frost actually happened, but I definitely love this time of year. Fall is my favorite time of year. I love the cooler nights and the warm sunny days and the leaves all changing colors. My husband and I got up to Winnipesaukee, Lake Winnipesaukee this past weekend, and the leaves are changing a little bit, not too much, but I think maybe in the next week or two that will start to be different and we'll start to see a lot more colors, especially maybe here in southern New Hampshire. So thank you all for joining me today. If you could give me some thumbs up or comment or some likes, share my video with somebody that you think would like to learn about stamping, I would appreciate it. Everyone that comments and shares my video gets entered into a raffle and wins if one person will win a prize. Last week, the winner was Terry Garifano, and so thank you, Terry, for commenting and watching my videos. I am glad that you're enjoying them. Last week's winner was Vicky from the week before, and I got that in the mail to Vicky today. Sorry, Vicky, a little bit delayed on that, but that did go out in this morning's mail, so hopefully you'll have it within the next few days. I do really appreciate all of the support that I'm getting, and it helps me continue to bring these free stamping videos to you. So today we're gonna use the Ornamental Envelopes Bundle of products, and we're gonna be decorating our envelopes along with our cards. I always like to maybe stamp a little bit of something on my envelope that carries over into the card inside, but they have some cool dies in the envelope die package that you can cut out some papers and some embellishments and add some more stuff to the envelopes. So we'll be doing that today. So I'm excited to share that with you. I'm going to, I guess, well, let me make sure that I am live. People can see me on Facebook. Yes, it looks like I am. So that's good. And I am going to get my camera flipped around here and we will get started. So let's make sure we're centered in this and turn down my volume on my, there we go. Okay, so we'll get some housekeeping out of the way first. I always just like to share with you what else is going on in the Stampin' Up world. The Paper Pumpkin subscription kit for October, which will come out in October, is called Joy to the World, where you can make 8 elegant holiday cards in this bundle. It includes everything you need. There'll be an ink spot in it, the stamp set, all the die cut, everything you need to create those cards. It even comes with glue dots and dimensionals and embellishments, and it's a great kit. I will put a link on the blog, or if you're interested and have more questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them for you. There is also a special going on this month for new recruits. If you're interested in becoming part of the Stampin' Up family and joining underneath me, there's a Get and Go starter kit promotion, and you will get a couple of additional items with your kit. So for $99, you get $125 worth of products. You will also get this Queen Anne's Lace stamp set, the So Much Love stamp set, a package of the Rhinestone Jewels, and then there'll be some card kit packages, paper packages in that kit as well. On Wednesday of this week, September 23rd, Stampin' Up is having a 24-hour stamp sale, and they have select stamps are on sale at 15% off. So there is a whole list of stamps, and I am going to post this PDF file on my blog so that you'll be able to get a copy of it. There's just so many, I don't want to take the time to go through and name each one of them, but I will put the PDF file on my blog so you could print it out or look at it online if you would like. And again, that is only on September 23rd. It'll start at midnight on the 22nd and run for 24 hours. So that's a great deal, 15% off a lot of stamp sets. I'm trying to pull some of my stamp sets that I do already own out of here and hoping maybe to do a small video that will show you the stamp set with a couple of samples that I have on hand. So I'm hoping maybe to get that done within the next 24 hours myself so that I can get that posted and you can see some of that information. So I received some swaps. My team had a meeting last week, and part of that is that we do card swaps. So I want to share these with you. Some of them have names on them. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure who the cards came from. But so thank you everybody that participated in this card swap. So this set is she watercolored on watercolor paper and then used the Comfort and Hope stamp set. So the sentiments and the other stamps come from that Comfort and Hope stamp set. This is Whiskey Business is the stamp set, and then these dies are part of the Best Plaid Builder. So I like that. I have made a couple cards using this Whiskey Business. They're great men's cards. This next card came from Kay Caps, and she used the Celebration label dies and then the Gather Together bundle to do the embossed leaf on here. And then it looks like she embossed this and then probably used an ink and sponger and stuff to add the color in. Very pretty. I like the colors. This card uses the Gilded Autumn Designer Series paper. It's very pretty. She put the little trim from the Forever Greenery on here. It brings out the gold, gives it some sparkle. This is from the Gilded Autumn Suite. It uses that autumn punch pack, the stamps. It looks like she cut out one of these pumpkins here for her center here, which is very nice. And then the basket weave and the metallic ribbon. Has a lot of shimmer to it. This card uses the Autumn Greetings bundle, and she die cut the outline of the pumpkins. It looks like in the copper metallic, and then the buffalo check is the background. That's a stamp set. And those are all the cards from my swap, so thank you everybody that participated in that. And so today we're going to use this Ornamental Envelopes stamp set, and then if you bundle it, you get 15% off, and this is the Envelope Dies bundle. So this is my sheet that shows you what all these shapes. So these would cut out like flaps for your envelope if you want to do it in Designer Series paper. There's 3 to 4 different sizes. This is a die that will cut out a negative image for you. And then these ornaments coordinate with the stamp set. So stamp it once, and this is a solid die cut that will cut out all 6 of those ornaments in one swoop. And then there's some flowers that coordinate with that there. And then these are just some more die elements for some decoration. So we're going to be using those today. And let me get all the stuff for our first card. So we're going to be using Thick Whisper White, 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4. I'm also using two different sentiment stamp sets today. One is Wrapped in Christmas, the other one is the Itty Bitty Christmas. So for this first card that I'm making, we're going to be using the Wrapped in Christmas. May your days be merry and bright. I have some stitched satin ribbon in the real red. I have a scrap piece of paper. And then I have cut out these ornaments with the Wrapped in Christmas Designer Series paper. So I just use this die on the Wrapped in Christmas Designer Series paper and cut out a whole bunch of ornaments. I probably ran it through like 3 different times because I wanted different patterns. So this is what that Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper. Those are all the different patterns in that set. This is a scrap piece I have because I'm going to stamp my sentiment and punch it out. I got a lot of those ornaments everywhere, I guess. So I have a piece of Sahara sand that's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to use some rhinestones. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to use Versamark ink. And I had used this last week, and what it does is it leaves a watermark on your paper, so it leaves a very subtle water impression of what you're stamping. So I have the big stamp all mounted, and then I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to start in the middle, just eyeball it. And it'll darken a little bit as it dries here, but see, it just leaves a very subtle water mark on the paper. Okay. I don't know if the lighting you can see. If I bring it a little closer, maybe you can see that it just leaves this very subtle ornament design behind there. I am going to clean this stamp off right away. I will be using this again later on my next card. And if I clean it right away, then I won't forget later and mess up my colors. So I'm going to finish my stamping here first, I think. I'm going to stamp my sentiment on my scrap piece of paper. And then I have a 1.5 inch circle punch, which punches this sentiment out perfectly. So that's that. And so then what I want to do is I have all my different shapes, and I'm going to just put them randomly on my card front here. This is my ribbon. My ribbon is 7 inches long, and I'm going to attach it to the back of my sentiment. Like that. I'll put that aside till I'm ready to attach it. And then just gonna maybe decide how I want to lay these out. So there's no rhyme or reason, I'm just trying to scatter these around. And as you can see, they're double-sided. So just get some different looks here at what I want. Maybe put some of these smaller ones in up here, like that. That should be pretty good, like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use dimensionals to pop them up. Try and make them straight so that they have the top going up. So I guess today I've made all Christmas cards, and it seems a little weird. It is only September, but I feel like once we hit the fall, these holidays are suddenly upon us, and the time goes very fast through the next few months, and then we're stuck in the coldness of winter. So I hope that you've all started thinking about making your own Christmas cards. So let's see, I got just attach this last one, and then I will attach the sentiment. Right there. There we go. So I have clean up my mess, put away my extra cutouts. I can use those on another card. And then we have some of these rhinestone jewels that we will add for some sparkle, because we always need some sparkle. There we go. Now I get my card base. And I'll attach this to that. And there we go, there's our first card. I hope, can you see the sort of subtle Versamark stamping that I did underneath of those? And then, as I said, we're going to decorate our envelope. So I started with a piece of designer series paper, which coordinated with my envelopes here, and it was 5 1/4 by 3 inches. And I think there's 3 different sizes here, and I believe I used the middle size. And I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So you see it gives it this scalloped edge. And then I scored it at 1 1/4 inches. So what I want to do is, this is going to be, I'm going to attach it to the inside of my envelope. So when they open the envelope, it has the coordinating paper on the inside. So I'm just going to run the tape right across that. Make sure it lines up with the crease. And there you go. So this stamp set also has some lines and a corner stamp. So I thought that I would also use that on the front of my card. So using the Sahara Sand ink, which coordinates with this cardstock we used as our background, I'm going to stamp this here on the front. Then you'll have nice, perfectly straight addresses printed on your cards. And let's see. Oh, I had this stamp set. I was going to do this in the real red. I guess I didn't use the corner stamp one on this. I'm going to do this. On either side of this, like that. Oh, and I've got ink. I guess I had it on the corner here, so I got it in the middle here, but we'll cover that up with our address. So that's the envelope that I made to coordinate with that. I guess it's not a video unless I manage to get ink somewhere on my project. So let's just set this aside. And I'm going to clean my stamp sets on the chamois. So that if I need them again, I have them all cleaned and ready. Okay. Our next card is going to use the same stamp set. My sentiment comes from the Itty Bitty Christmas. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we're going to use the Brightly Gleaming Designer Series paper for this. So the coordinating colors in that are Night of Navy and Pretty Peacock. So I have my card base is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have the Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series paper, which is 4 by 5 1/4. I have a Very Vanilla layer. This will be our inside layer, which is 4 by 5 1/4 as well. I have the Very Vanilla medium envelopes, and I have a piece of that Designer Series paper that I'm going to use to decorate the envelope with. I have the champagne rhinestones. I have a piece of the copper foil, and this is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. I have a piece of the Very Vanilla, which is 2.5 by 4, and then I have the Very Vanilla for my sentiment. I don't know if I have listed what my size was for this. Yep, it's 2 inches by 1 inches, and then the Night of Navy, which would be 2 1/4 by 1 1/4 for layering. So on my Very Vanilla piece, I'm going to stamp in the Pretty Peacock ink my ornaments. Sorry, I'm trying to center this. There we go. Clean this. I don't think I need it again, but it's always good to clean it so that I don't put it away dirty. And then I am going to use Night of Navy for my sentiment. I did that a little crooked, so let's see if I can't get it a little straighter. Okay, that looks a little better. And then we're going to layer these. The sentiment goes on the Night of Navy. My ornaments are going to be layered on the copper foil. And this was the inside of our card, and I was going to use this smaller ornament to just add a little bit in the inside. Oh, I didn't do that very good, so there's always two sides. There we go, much better on the second side. Let me clean this off. And then we will assemble our card. We'll attach the brightly gleaming paper. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to pop up my ornaments. And then my sentiment is going to go right there. So if I put a dimensional on one side, a little tape on the other. I can attach that there, and then we'll use our Take a Pick tool to add some rhinestones. These are champagne rhinestones. There we go. And that's our card. And then I am going to, I wanted to show you, so I wanted to decorate the envelope. And I've cut this to, I want to say it's 5 3/4, long. Yeah, 5 3/4 long by 2 1/4. And then I'm going to get my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine to show you how easy this was. So with the 3 different sizes here, I'm going to use the largest one. And this is the Stampin' Emboss and Cut machine. These are my plates. So as I've said before, it shows you right on here what you want to do for your sandwich. So I have my base plate, I have my number 2 plate, and then I use the number 3 cutting plates. So I put one down, I'm going to put my paper on, I'm going to put my die on, and then my top cutting plate, and put it through my machine. And on the other side, I have my cut piece. So you can see how easy that is and how nicely that cut that first time through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this to the outside of my envelope here. So there we go. So you can see how pretty that's going to be if someone gets that in the mail. They're going to be impressed with your envelope, and then they open it up and they have your matching card, which I've now misplaced already. I seem to do this a lot. Okay, it'll turn up. It's got to be here, right? Okay, let's work on our last card. So our last card is going to use the Stamparatus. So this machine is great for making multiple cards and lining up your sentiments, making sure stuff is straight with two-step stamping. It comes with this base. It comes with 2 of these plastic plates. And so what I'm going to do, what I would like to do, we'll see if this works out for me the way I want it to, is make a wreath using the stamps in here that are sort of a little bit circular. So I have a piece of very vanilla paper. And this is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to mark where I want this to, where it's going to sit on here, so that every time that I turn it, it goes back to the same place. So it comes with a magnet so I can hold my paper in place. I'm going to start with this leaf type pattern. I'm going to place it right down here in the corner. So it's great for lining up because now when I push this down, it's going to pick this up. It did move my paper a little bit, but because I put those marks on, I can put it right back where I want it. Use my magnet. And I'm going to use soft seafoam on this. So I'm just inking up my stamp like that, applying pressure, and there's my leaf pattern. So now what I want to do is, the reason I've put the marks is because I'm going to rotate this a quarter turn, put my magnet back on it, ink up my stamp, apply some pressure, rotating a quarter turn again, and then this is the last one for this one. And there, see? So it's made my wreath. So what I'm going to do is remove my plate and switch it over to the other side. I'm going to leave this stamp here because if I wanted to make multiples of this card, it's already all lined up for me. And then I'm going to use this branch type stamp. And again, I'm going to line it up sort of over where I had the leafy one. I'm going to pick it up, put this back in place, and now I'm using Early Espresso. So the same thing, I'm just going to keep turning a quarter of a turn, and I'm overlaying that image on the leaf image. And then one last time with this image. And there we go with that. So I'm actually just going to remove this now, keep it out of the way, because like I said, if I wanted to do multiples of this one card, everything's all lined up now on this plate. And I'm going to bring in my other plate. And this one has the berries. So line those up over that branch, and I am doing this in real red. Oh, I need to pick it up first. Make sure this goes back to where I wanted it lined up. So yeah, I'm getting ink on the other parts of the plate, but it doesn't touch it shouldn't in theory touch my card part, so I shouldn't be making a mess on my card. So rotate that, hold it down, rotate it again. And then one last time. So there we go. So I'm just going to put this aside now. So we have our wreath made. And then, let's see what we're going to do for a card. I have this on Very Vanilla. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a 1/2 inch strip for my sentiment. This designer series paper is the In Good Taste designer series paper, so that's 5 1/4 by 4. I'm going to layer this on a piece of real red, which is 3.5 by 3.5. And then I have some wonderful gems to embellish this with. And my sentiment is going to be Peace and Happiness from the Itty Bitty Christmas. So I'm doing that in the real red as well. Okay, a little crooked. We'll try one more time. Still a little bit crooked, but you know what? It's a hand-stamped card. It's not going to be perfect. So let's see. I'm going to cut that there, and then I want to use the banner Pick-a-Punch. To flag the end of that sentiment like that. Oh, and I'm going to use my 1.5 inch circle, and I'm going to take this right out of the middle of this red layer. So now, don't waste any paper. See, this is going to cover this, and now I have my circle, because what I want to do is attach my sentiment to this, and I'm going to layer this here like this. So no one's going to even know that you have punched that circle out of the red layer. So we're just going to assemble our card. I'm going to use some dimensionals to pop up my sentiment. And we're going to add some of these wonderful gems to add some sparkle, because we always need to add some sparkle. And we're going to get this attached. To our card. And then, as you can see, I've already cut out my designer series paper and put that inside my envelope. And I used these little flower stamps and embellished the front with the flower stamps so that it would go with this card. I put some on the back as well. And then there's that card. So I do have a couple others I just want to show you. This was a card I made very similar to this. This is also that brightly gleaming paper. It's just the back side that doesn't have the glitter and the foil that the front side had, and the sentiment was from the Wrapped in Christmas, and I used some of that Forever Greenery gold trim on that. The envelope, I used those corner stamps and the line stamp, and then on the inside I cut out my Designer Series paper, and then I used this die cut to cut out the negative image on that. And then I have this card, which also used that same ornament. So I stamped the ornament in Bermuda Bay, Gorgeous Grape, and Poppy Parade, 3 different, in each color, and die cut them. And then I had stamped the image in basic gray, you can see underneath there, and then popped up the die cut images. And then on the envelope, I used the die, this die, to cut out that shape on the envelope, and then we'll put this together. I cut out the Gorgeous Grape, and I wanted to put it on the back side, I guess on the inside of the envelope flap, so that that die image had the grape behind it, like this. So let's see. If we put a little tape on either side, and then I think if I wet that flap, it's going to stick. If I use an aqua painter. If I put this up against the crease, fold it down, it will stick on that. So see, so now your envelope, you can see a little bit of that scalloped edge, and then the die cut shape has that Gorgeous Grape behind it, which coordinates with our card. And what else do I have? Another one. I have this one, which also I did in the Cherry Cobbler and the Shaded Spruce. Very similar to this, just more Christmassy colors than those. I used that die to cut that out, and I used a scallop edge to cut along the card base, and then put Designer Series paper behind it. And then my envelope, I cut out some Designer Series paper so you could see a little bit of the scalloped edge, and it coordinates with the card. And then this is a card that I made. I made this bigger. This is, I think, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. It did that wreath again using the Stamparatus, and then added the star elements to it. They are Star Designer elements is what they're called. And then the sentiment comes from Wrapped in Christmas. And then, oh, I also did, I put embossed the edge of the Shaded Spruce layer. And I did not, I wanted to embellish this envelope here with you. So, using the Shaded Spruce, I'm going to get that leaf pattern that I had done on our wreath. And I'm just going to stamp our envelope like that, and just bring some of that wreath pattern out into the envelope. So let's bring some of these cards back in here so you can see what we did today. So, oh, this I was making some sample cards, and my ink pad flew out of my hand. And I actually ruined a couple of cards because of that. So it's a little frustrating when you get a card all made and then, so even the best of us do this a lot too. So I appreciate you all sticking with me through this video. I hope that you learned some new techniques. Are going to start adding some pizzazz and embellishments to your envelopes. I'm gonna put my cards all here so you can see them all. This was the first card we made with our coordinating envelope. So thank you so much for watching. Please share and comment for be entered in a raffle for a prize. If you'd like to place an order, this is my September host code. If you subscribe to my blog, you'll get all notifications when I do a video, and it will also contain all the measurements for all these cards, all the products I used, links to my online store. I also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook business page. And remember to leave a little sparkle wherever you go. Thanks for watching.